You ever walk into a place thinking you know how things work only to have the whole script flipped on you in the space of a heartbeat? Yeah, that's pretty much what happened the night the Bridgeport Police Department's walls saw a scene that would change the entire city. Picture this, a police station, dead quiet, midnight shift, the kind of place you'd expect to feel safe and nonetheless, of course, you're not the kind of person they want to help. Get out of here. The police station isn't for people like you to come in and make trouble. That's what Officer Kyle Rohr barked across the counter at a black woman who looked like life had thrown her more punches than she deserved. The guy wasn't just angry. He looked like he wanted to rip the world in half. And you know what? That's the moment you realize some people put on a badge, but they never wear the responsibility that comes with it. This woman, she keeps her cool, even as his words try to cut her down. Officer, I just want to report something that happened. Would you listen? She's polite, almost too polite for the situation. But Rohr isn't having it. He storms from behind the desk, his whole body language screaming that he owns the place. Report what? You're just making up stories. That's all your kind ever does, he sneers. Then, just like that, he swings a punch right to her shoulder. Not a scuffle, not a misunderstanding. A full-blown assault by a cop in his own precinct. Let me back up a sexy. The woman's name is Aaliyah Hayes, 42, and get fish just been appointed chief of police. That's right. The city council handpicked her to turn Bridgeport around, a city famous for crumbling factories, empty promises, and a police force rotten with racism and abuse. But nobody in that room knows who she really isn't it yet. Aaliyah's no rookie. She spent over 20 years fighting crime, fixing broken departments from coast to coast. She's tough, fair, and respected unless you're the kind of cop who's got something to hide. On this particular night, she's not there in her sharp uniform or under the bright lights of a press conference. She's undercover, dressed down, looking like anybody's exhausted neighbor. Only her most trusted ally, Deputy Chief David Ramirez, knows what she's up to. Her plan? Go in as Brenda Jackson, a regular working-class black woman, to see for herself just how bad things have gotten. She picked the graveyard shift on purpose, figuring anyone with a chip on their shoulder would be most likely to show their true colors then. Her incident is minor, just some vandalism on her old car. But really, she's there to see which officers are decent and which ones need to be kicked to the curb. Officer Rohr is everything she's suspect Ted mid-30s. White, 7 years on the job, infamous for his temper and his open racism. Bridgeport's complaints file probably has its own drawer with his name on it, but every time, the accusations go nowhere. Maybe his bosses look the other way. Maybe the victims are too scared to push back, but either way, he thinks he's untouchable. He makes $65,000 a year and spends half his time brooding about how he deserves more and more respect, more money, more power. That night, Rohr's already in a foul mood money trouble at home, arguments with his wife, and now stuck on night shift. So when Brenda Jackson steps up to his counter, he sees a target, not a person. She starts, "Officer, my name is Brenda Jackson. My car's been vandalized, spray, paint, smashed windows," but he cuts her off with a sneer. "Bet it was your junkie friends, right? Or did you owe somebody money? Why don't you take your drama home?" Aaliyah tries to stay calm. "Sir, this is a police matter. I'm legally entitled to file a report," but that just pushes Rohr closer to snapping. He starts cursing, dropping racial slurs so nasty you'd think you wandered into a bar fight, not a police station. There's a witness to Mr. Lee, a middle-aged Asian man waiting quietly, not daring to say a word, but seeing everything. Finally, Aaliyah insists. She's not leaving without being heard. That's when Rohr loses and throws his punch, shoves her, and tells her to get out. She staggers, shoulder burning. But this is the moment that flips everything because instead of breaking down, Aaliyah goes full undercover pro. She apologizes, pretends to be scared, and slinks out, but she's got something Rohr doesn't know about. A hidden FBI-grade recorder capturing every single word and blow. Outside, Aaliyah calls Ramirez. "We got him." Set it all in motion. 15 minutes later, while Rohr is still basking in his little victory, the police station's yard fills with blacked-out SUVs, lights flashing. Deputy Chief Ramirez steps out with a team, and the atmosphere shifts in an instant. No more business as usual. Inside, Ramirez orders all officers to the conference room. No explanations. That's when Aaliyah walks back in, this time in full uniform, badge gleaming, posture straight as an arrow. Her entrance turns every head in the room. Roar stares, open-mouthed, as he realizes the woman he just assaulted is not some nobodish the new chief, and he's toast. "Hello, Officer Roar. I think we've already met," she says, her voice ice-cold but steady. On cue, Ramirez signals a tech to play back the hidden footage. Every insult, every slur, every violent move, right there on the screen for the entire department to see. Roar's face drains of color, goes from tough guy to broken man in seconds. He collapses to his knees, begging for mercy, babbling about his wife and kid, but Aaliyah just looks down at him, unmoved. "Did you think about your family when you hit me?" she asks, her words slicing the silence. "Did you think about your oath?" Then, for the entire room to hear, she fires him on the spot, suspended, pending formal dismissal, with a criminal investigation to follow. "This is my first and last warning," she says, turning to the rest of the officers. "From this moment on, any act of racism, violence, or abuse of power will be met with zero tolerance. This department will serve every citizen, no matter what they look like, no matter where they come from." The room is stunned. Some officers are relieved, others scared, but everyone knows Bridgeport just changed in a way that can't be undone. Roar's case moves fast. Aaliyah's got evidence, witnesses, everything. Mr. Lee, the silent bystander, finally finds the courage to testify. Roar is fired, prosecuted, sentenced to jail, and ordered into anti-bias classes. Aaliyah sues him in civil court, wins, and uses the $55,000 settlement to set up a legal fund for other victims of police violence. Her reforms come quick: stricter use of force policies, mandatory body cameras, an independent oversight board, diversity training for all. She meets with community leaders, listens to their pain, and promises to build a department the city can finally trust. The story goes national media, activists, and everyday people cheering, but not everyone's on board. Some say she's gone too far, others call it a publicity stunt. But Aaliyah stands her ground. She knows real change means making enemies as well as friends. So what do you think? Was Aaliyah's undercover move bold or reckless? Would you have had the nerve to walk into that hornet's nest? If you were Roar, how would you live with yourself after realizing you just destroyed your whole life with your own arrogance? And do you honestly believe that a leader like Aaliyah Hayes can really turn around a broken system, or is that just another dream people like to tell themselves? Let me know in the comments whose side are you on, and where do you draw the line between justice and revenge?